Well, it's very difficult. When I was 12 or 13, my brother and my sister, they dispute which of them it was, gave me a copy of James Joyce's great short story collection, Dubliners. And I read this book and I was fascinated to discover that fiction and literature could be about life as I knew it. That this wasn't a detective story or a Wild West story or a story about school. This was ordinary life. Although Joyce himself said, "I've never met an ordinary person in my life, have you?" And he's right. So I immediately thought, I have to do this. I have to try to emulate this. So I borrowed my Aunt Sadie's Remington typewriter. It looked like a combine harvester, It was enormous black thing. It looked like the Victor Emmanuel monument in Rome. And I started to write really bad imitations of Joyce's Dubliners. And I kept at it for a long time. So I started when I was, let's say, at most 14. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And when I was 17, I wrote a story, not a very good story. But when I'd finished it, I realized it wasn't mine anymore. It had gone from me. I was like a mother who'd given birth to a child. And then I thought, yeah, I can be a writer. But it had to be that it was no longer mine. No, you have to find your own voice. You have to learn to speak from inside yourself. Now, it's difficult. There are always voices in one's ears. Always voices because they've done such wonderful things. When I was young, I read people like Joyce and Beckett and Henry James and W.B. Yeats, and I thought, this is miraculous. This is superhuman. But as I continued to write, I realized they weren't superhuman. It wasn't miraculous. They were human beings, just as I was a human being, and they were writing out of themselves. And that's the basic, that's how to write. You have to write out of yourself. You mustn't listen to other people. My older brother, my older sister, whichever of them gave me Joyce's Dubliners, they always encouraged me to, you must send this story to this magazine. I said, no, I won't, because it's not good enough. Not good enough. And when you arrive at the point when you think, well, it's not as good as them, but it's good enough for me, then you let it go and say, all right, I can do it. But one has to be humble in the face of language. Language is such a difficult medium. I always envied painters. I tried to be a painter when I was a teenager. Failed miserably. Language is such a difficult medium because you think you're saying what you mean to say. But you look at it and you think, oh, that's not what I meant to say. And you say, who speaks here? And language says to you, I do. Language speaks. And language always wants to subvert us and to trick us. Language always wants to say what it wants to say, not what we want to say. So, it's a wonderful, it's a fascinating, I've spent my life, a long life, wrestling with language. I feel like Jacob and the angel, I've been wrestling this angel all my life. But it is an angel. It's a deceptive angel, but it's an angel. You don't. I send every book that I write, I finish it, I think, oh my God, nobody will publish this. I'm still learning to write. I'm 75 years old, and every morning I get up, I look at that blank page and I think, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how I did it yesterday. I don't know how I did it a month ago. And I'm afraid the bad news for young writers is it doesn't get easier. It gets harder, but it gets more interesting. And it also, it sorts out the real writers from the writers who simply want to be writers, who want to have a reputation without doing the work. Because it's all work, it's work, it's work, it's work. You write a sentence and you think, oh, that'll do, and you think, no, it won't do. And you go back to it. I finished a book in August, which I've been writing for 5 or 6 years. And a friend of mine said, I admire you so much for keeping on with this. I'd revised it about 20 times. I said, but I wouldn't be a writer if I let it go without getting to a point where I thought it as right as it could be. Now, Paul Valéry said, a work of art is never finished, only abandoned. And it's true. I had to abandon it, but I abandoned it at the point of exhaustion. Well, my motto is from an ancient Roman, Cato the Censor, not a household name. Cato the Censor said his advice to speakers to politicians and to writers, anybody writing, said, "Rem tene verbum sequenter." Grasp the object, and the words will follow. Always concentrate on the thing you're writing about, not how you feel about it, not, whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood. None of that counts. All that counts is the thing itself that you're trying to describe, because it's always outside you. And always try to describe the world as it is, not as you feel about it. That's my only advice for young writers.
That's a really good one.
Grasp the object, and the words will follow.